Row for Show Productions presents Brothers Being Brothers, a lifestyle podcast.
It's a problem.
Welcome to the Brothers Being Brothers podcast. I'm your host, Rochelle Hamilton Jr., and I got my boys Macronay and K-Rod with me. Oh, I forgot. Macronay and K-Rod with me. Fellas, say what's up to the people.
What's up?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on?
Yes, sir. This is episode 8 of the Brothers Being Brothers podcast. Man, we 2 months into this thing? Time is flying, and I'm loving. Yeah, we deep, dog. We 8 episodes deep in this thing, and I'm loving every single minute of it. Thank y'all for rocking with us. Thank y'all for pulling up and vibing with us. We loving it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fellas, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Governor Abbott, and I know all three of us got something to say about this one. Governor Abbott earlier this week basically tossed away all of the COVID protocols in the state of Texas. Texas is open 100%. Now, keep in mind, this is at a time when we got, 7 or 8 different variants of COVID running around. Each of them are more dangerous and transmissible than the previous variants, I guess is what you could say. And in the midst of all this guy decides to open up businesses 100%, which I have a problem with it, but I don't have a problem with it because I do understand the economics. But the thing that I have the biggest problem with is ending all of the mask mandates. I don't. The United States has failed terribly across the board when it comes down to COVID. Texas has been the leader in that failure. People can say what they want about Greg Abbott, Texas, and freedom and this and that and the other. Like the fact that with this virus that it was politicized the way it was is pathetic. We've lost over 511,000 people currently to this virus, and which is when COVID first started. I remember when those numbers were first coming out, they were saying that these were like the worst case scenarios of COVID hitting America. And I'm like, okay, well, sure, we won't hit that number. We'll take care of COVID and this and that and the other. And next thing we know, masks were politicized, this virus was politicized, people didn't want to shut down. Then it turned into you're infringing on my freedoms, you're infringing on my rights, which is crazy in itself. Because if you feel like wearing a mask is infringing on your rights, you have no idea what rights are. You have no idea what it means to be oppressed. That's oppression to you. If you feel like a business limiting the amount of people that can come in there is oppression or taking away your rights, you have no idea what you're talking about. And I can't, say it any plainer than that. But, in the midst of Greg Abbott doing all this, to me, it looks like he's trying to cover up for that failure of, the Texas electricity or the Texas power grid from a few weeks ago. And actually, while I'm saying all this, let me just give a disclaimer. These are my opinions and not the opinions of my employer, because somebody may find this and then, So these are the opinions of Rochelle Hamilton Jr. and not my employer. So if one of my coworkers, you find this, Anyway, this makes it look like Greg Abbott is trying to cover his tracks for the failure that happened with the Texas power grid. And we all know the history of ERCOT, Texas power grid, this and that and the other, the heat that they took on it. I think this is a huge mistake, taking away the mask mandates for businesses. We know how COVID is transmitted through the mist from the nose and the mouth. And, while the numbers have dipped, they're kind of starting to tick back up. And I lost a close friend to COVID last month, and that still hurts. So to see this go into effect with this amount of carelessness, it hurts. It really hurts. But that's enough about me, man. I want to get y'all's opinions on this deal.
Go ahead. I'm all ears.
Okay. Well, you said it all. It's well, first of all, people do what they want. They call me weird. I'm gonna still wear my mask. To be honest, I asked my mom or dad the other day. I was like, "Has anybody got flu this year?" or it's COVID flu? Only reason I'm asking because, like you
You don't
said,
know.
like like Rose said in a podcast way, about 6, 7 weeks ago. Shameless plug. Go watch those old clips. He said he wasn't having like sinus issues due to wearing a mask, and he said he might do it every winter season. So I think masks are good, up until a certain point. I would not suggest somebody wearing it all day if they don't have to, because I understand things that can happen. But everybody's skin is different. You can find things that work. It's just like detergent. Somebody's allergic to Gain, so they have to use some other detergent. Somebody's allergic to Dial soap, so they may have to use, some other kind of soap. So I just think it's all about getting an understanding and knowing that a mask can really help more than it hurt in a situation like this, where some people don't understand the real act of responsibility when it comes to transmitting. So, it being open up, I can understand businesses hurting and
Right.
suffering. I would never wish that on anybody.
Right.
Right.
Um, but you know, one thing you have to do is try to learn how to make it through a pandemic when a pandemic is happening. And so they've had the loans and the SBA and PPP loans, and hopefully that has been a blessing and a help to small businesses in general. But I would be lying to say that it sounds safe or it feels safe, in my opinion. Nothing about it. Actually, it seems a little contrary and contrite to what we should maybe keep at for a little while longer. Not sure how long that time period is, but it just seems real condescending. The tone of the mandate being lifted seems a little condescending,
Definitely.
and I think and it's not a Republican Democrat thing at this point. I just think it's more about humanity, like a humanitarian thing. And last thing I'll
Yeah.
say is, people have died, people have become sick, people have, had some long-term illnesses and long-term effects from this deadly disease. So, I would just, for the people who don't want to wear masks, that's cool. I understand it. Hooray for you, but have some compassion for the people who
Mhm.
maybe second guess the mask, or people who are saying, I'm not second guess, I'm wearing a mask, or for the people who are in the middle trying to figure it out. Don't have to make a big deal. If you don't have yours and somebody else have it, just keep it moving. You're strangers anyway. You don't have to get to know that person. Just keep it moving with your mask, or keep it moving without your mask, and let everybody do their due diligence in their mind. But
Right.
all in all, I am not the biggest fan of the decision. I'll say it like that.
Right.
So I agree with both of y'all on all your points. I do believe that it is a shift in focus from the whole electric or whatever. I believe that there's other motives behind this whole thing, as far as politics. And most importantly, it's still creating division.
Right.
It's still creating division. So you mean to tell me that that the governor didn't think in his head that doing this, all of the incidences where the people feel like their rights were taken away, and people were getting in fights in the stores, and people, because one person didn't want to wear their mask, and just all this division, he didn't think that this will come back up. So it's funny because after the whole attack on the Capitol, everyone was yelling out, "Bring the temperature down. This is the time we need to be united." But yet, here we are, and a decision to unite the people, to keep us divided. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, I mean, and so my other point is, I agree with you, Rob. because just because you're not wearing a mask, you're still a carrier. If you don't feel sick or whatever, you can still be a carrier, and you can get that to an elderly person. You know what I mean? So you still want to be conscious of what you can give to someone else. We're in a world where everyone is so selfish nowadays, man.
Yeah.
It sucks. But yeah, so I agree with all you guys, both of you guys, with all your topics, man, and all your points.
Well, I'll say this: I didn't even consider, and maybe that's because I'm not the most political person in the world. I'll be honest with you. Politics are a blur to me, always have been. But I never thought about that. Texas has been a red state for quite some time, and so I know more if we're talking political, not not my opinion, but in a political sense of understanding, people who are voting red or Republican are usually the ones who are the most hostile or in arms about the mask, at least from what I've seen or what I've heard on news reports. Not saying it's everybody, but the people that the majority, or
exactly
majority of the people that have had altercations. Let me say it like that. But maybe he is doing it for for an election. Maybe he's gearing up this to be like, hey guys, I did it for you. Let's
exactly.
I didn't think about it. I didn't think about that until you said something. So that's a good point, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, because he is up for re-election next year. And whatever side of the fence you're on, I would advise you to vote. But I get it. The vaccines are coming along fine. We're getting more and more vaccines basically by the day. So I get it. I ain't gonna say we're almost at the finish line, but we're getting closer. But I just feel like this was just way too soon. Now, like I say, the business standpoint, I get it. Businesses are hurting and this and that and the other. The economics,
right? No, definitely, yeah, definitely.
Right.
The businesses,
but, yeah. But if you're gonna open up the businesses, at least keep the mask mandate.
double mask.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
If you're going full capacity, double mask. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Go ahead.
He was saying in the report. I read a report though. He was saying that now Texas can administer up to 100,000 COVID vaccines, per day, and they've administered like almost 7 million, I guess, for people who it's available to. But yeah, man, I don't know if I would lift it totally. I understand around being around people you trust or know. That's one thing, but it's more or less the strangers. You know what I'm saying? Because a person I trust, if we're cool, I would hope that if he's feeling sick or something, even if it wasn't COVID, he wouldn't necessarily want to be around to be like, hey, man, I don't even know what this bug, because we used to say that. Think about it. When we used to get sick, we'd be like, bro, I don't know what this bug is, but man, don't even come near me, bro. Stay away from me. I don't want you to get this bug. I don't want you to get what I'm dealing with. And so it's not like it's a new practice, at least around my friends. If I was sick, I'm gonna go ahead and stick it out at the crib. You know what I'm saying? Now my stomach hurt, then that's one thing. But if I'm like actually ill, under the weather, and running temperature and stuff like that, then like I actually need to sit this out and figure out what's going on and get myself back to a normal place.
I kind of got. I'm sorry, bro, but I kind of got this a little sidebar issue. So the things with the vaccines, that they're going well. Everyone is getting vaccinated. So now Johnson & Johnson, you hear about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, right? It's only one dose. They do the stem cells from the fetus or whatever. So that's on one dose. So at one point, is someone going to mix up the dosage and give somebody a dosage from the first one and give them the dose from the Johnson & Johnson? And we got some damn zombies walking around.
It's highly possible. It sounds funny, man, but if 2020 and the first part of 2021 has showed us anything is possible, bro. Because I never would have guessed that I would ever see in my lifetime a virus come along and basically stop the world in its track. Like I remember when COVID first popped off, I remember reading reports where there was patches around the world where the water was changing back to its normal color. There was
Oh yeah.
seismologists. Yes, there were seismologists all around the world who were saying that the earth had literally stopped vibrating because there weren't as many trains going, there weren't as many cars going, there weren't as many people walking around. There were videos of little spots over in Italy where dolphins were swimming down this little canal, and they said it had been like 200 or 300 years before those dolphins had been there because the water had been so murky from the population. There was places around the globe where the pollution, like the ozone, was actually cleaning itself. Like it was crazy. Never would have thought I would see something like this. But one thing COVID has done it has exposed the selfishness. Like you were saying, Mac, it has exposed the selfishness of a lot of people. And and I get it. I mean, none of us really want to feel like we're confined, but at the same time, while I feel like I'm okay when it comes down to COVID, I'm not worried about me getting it. I'm worried about, one of my family members or somebody catching it from me. I'm worried about, being asymptomatic and giving it to somebody else who can't, fend off, fend for themselves. My homeboy that caught it, he got it from somebody close to him. So it's that kind of stuff that reminds me, why it's important for us to keep, being vigilant when it comes down to this virus. And another thing we have to remember, man, this is about to be the spring and summer season. People are about to be getting out and about. It's going to be more people on the move. So, this is going to be something to monitor. We tried this last year in Texas. When he started lifting the restrictions a little bit more and the numbers shot up and they end up having to put the restrictions back in place.
Shut right back down, yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be something that's it's going to be worth monitoring, man. My hope and prayers are with everybody because we don't know what direction this thing is going to be. And I know that sounds funny, but we don't know what direction this is going to go. Like my prayers are with everybody, honestly. Well, fellas, I guess we'll go on to the next topic. This deal right here, I don't know if y'all read this report. We all know that LeBron James is probably the most outspoken athlete when it comes to social issues, racism, poverty, whatever the case may be. Also, he's got a new movie coming out later this year, Space Jam, the sequel. It actually looked like it's gonna be fire. Like I saw like the little preview. It actually looked like it's gonna be pretty good. Because actually LeBron is actually a really good actor. Like I thought he was gonna be terrible, but I saw some of the stuff that he's done. He's pretty good. For somebody that's an athlete first, he's actually pretty good. I give him props.
I haven't seen any of it. I have to check that out.
I think the only thing I seen him in was that Amy Schumer movie, Trainwreck.
Yeah, Trainwreck.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a movie guy, so I never heard of it.
Exactly.
Never heard of the movie.
Now his production work, and I know we kind of getting off topic, but his production work is off the chain. Like The Shop and some of the other shows that I think he had that show back in the day, Survivor's Remorse. I think he was one of the producers on that. Like his production work behind the camera is off the chain. But anyway, AC Milan soccer star Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's a soccer player over in Sweden. Now, what he did is he criticized LeBron James earlier this week. He was speaking in an interview with Discovery Plus over in Sweden last Thursday. So basically what he said is, although he admires LeBron's talent, he feels like it's, quote, a mistake when athletes step out of their lane and speak on politics and social issues. Now, part of his quote, and I'll read it, is do what you're good at. Do the category you do. Stay out of it. Just do what you do because it doesn't look good. So, of course, LeBron was asked by a member of the media about what this guy said. He basically told this dude in so many words to shut up and that he's not going to just stick to sports, saying, quote, I'm the wrong guy to go at because I do my homework. And I love LeBron's response because here's the thing, like for me, I'm sick and tired of the shut up and play narrative when it comes to these athletes. Because point blank, athletes are people too. They put their clothes on one leg at a time, just like we do. They eat, sleep, fart, poop, whatever, just like we do. They're human.
Everyone poops.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? We got to remember these athletes are people. And part of the problem with our obsession and I'm talking about worldwide when it comes to athletes, is we treat these people like machines. We treat them like numbers, basically. Because LeBron James is human, just like us. LeBron James pays taxes just like us. He pays a lot more in taxes than we do because he makes more. But he's a citizen of America, just like us. So for that fact right there, he is able to speak on social issues. And you know what? But with LeBron, his platform just magnifies his voice. That's really all it is. Now, Jeremy Lin had a quote that he said perfectly, and I love the way he put this. He said, when athletes donate money from the salary that they earn, no one seems to have a problem accepting that money. When athletes speak from the platform that they earn this money from, then we have a problem. That's a double standard. And he's so right. Because one thing that I've noticed when JJ Watt or some other athlete donates to a good cause, everybody wants to hype it up. But the minute one of these athletes brings consciousness to an issue, specifically one about race or sexism, homosexuality, whatever the case is, nobody wants to hear it. All of a sudden, everybody wants politics out of sports. Sports is a microcosm of society. Politics is a part of life. And we're past the days where athletes are just going to shut up and dribble. It's not happening. Athletes realize their power now. And this is what athletes back in the 60s and the 70s, they were trying to do this. They opened up the door, the Muhammad Ali's and I can't even think about some of the other ones, but Muhammad Ali, you know, he was very outspoken in his day. We all know his story. People hated that dude at the time, but now you look at history loves him. So I have no issue with athletes speaking out. And people like this soccer player, I ain't even gonna try to say his name. They are the ones, yeah, they are the ones that need to shut up and do what they do. I mean, if you don't want to speak on it, that's fine. I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
But don't hate on the guy that wants to bring consciousness to an issue that he feels is close to him. Because LeBron's deal is, I may not be dealing with this, but I can identify with the people that are dealing with this. And this is not right. And I don't have to be in a situation to know that this is not right, what's going on. So I'm gonna leave it at that, man. I'm gonna let y'all go because yeah.
Well, I'm just kind of like dumbfounded that someone would fix their mouth to say something like that to someone who's trying to bring something to the light that need the light shined on. Like that like you said, that whole shut up and play. Like I thank him a bitch for that. You know what I mean? They don't.
I like that.
You know that I don't. It's just crazy. But I think that if you have the platform, no matter what it is, basketball, social media, whatever you're doing, radio, if you have the platform and you have something you want to put light on, then that's your decision. You know what I mean? And I think the only problem is that when it comes down to shining a light on something good, that they in their eyes good, like JJ Watt does, or something more political, it comes down to money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And when I say when it comes down to money, I mean, so the NFL is looking at, okay, JJ Watt is doing this for this community, and that looks good. All our fans are going to like that. Mm-hmm. But this guy over here is shining a light on all these political Black Lives Matter. Half our fans aren't going to like that. Right. So, of course, what you as a business, what would you shine the light on more? Like you shy away from them talking about Black Lives Matter because of money. And that's sad that it comes down to money. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, but that's all I got. That's all I got for you.
Well, for a person who is also a part of the so to speak entertainment industry, business, what have you. I hate to say it, but you know, they love what he can do. They love the money that he can make them, but they don't love him or what he stands for. And first of all, he's from Sweden. Tell him don't worry about American issues. You just come over here on your visa, get your check, go back home. How about that? And that's not on a racial issue. That's on a mind your business. Mind your business.
Right. Exactly.
If that don't happen over in Sweden, cool. But come over here, get your big soccer check, go back home, and do your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares? And like what room do you have to tell somebody what is and what they are and what they are not good at? See, the problem is people only think you're good at what they see you do or what they, you know what I'm saying? It's like, just because you see me do a podcast and talk, that don't mean I can't be good at cooking. I don't have to tell you I'm good at cooking to be good at cooking. I don't have to tell you I'm good at, waxing cars to be good at it. I don't have to tell you anything. As a matter of fact, all I got to do is do what I decide to do. And saying all that to say, LeBron can be good at like 30 things, man. First of all, he has enough money to help him be good. Let's not argue. Let's not argue with that. And then two, like, I mean, being a role model is more than actually just playing basketball. So he's actually doing what he's supposed to do. He's actually using the ability God gave him in order to magnify and help better the lives of other people through his money, his voice, his stature. And actually, people should want to see these entertainers. They should want to see the other aspect of these people because character, perseverance, responsibility, accountability, things like that are actually what helps LeBron make the kind of money he makes and be in the circles he's in, man. You can't be a jack off and be the richest earning man in sports. It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Because there are certain kind of, Nike wouldn't not have given him a lifetime contract if he had done the Latrell Sprewell and slapped the coach. How's that going to work? You see what I'm saying? And I feel like even Colin Kaepernick, and you was talking about other people been doing activism since the 60s, 70s. Jim Brown, Ali, Bill Russell. Like, this is not even new. I just think the problem is people have a bigger voice because social media and TV and stuff, it has such a better presence that if Ali was doing it back in the day, it would be equivalent to LeBron. It would just be toned down a little more. Ali was a little more flamboyant, but LeBron was toned down a little more than he is. He's not scared to say it, but he's toned down a little more. And so I'm like, man, it's nothing new under the sun. So like, don't act like it's some weird thing. And, LeBron said something. He said, at the end of the day, I will never shut up about things that are wrong. I preach about my people and about equality, social injustice, racism, voter suppression, things that go on in our community because I was part of my community at one point, seeing the things that were going on, and I know it's still going on. I have a group of 300 plus kids in my school that are going through the same thing and they need a voice, and I'm their voice. I use my platform to continue to shed light on everything that may be going on only in my community, but around this country and the world. And like, I just feel, like I said, if I'm a musician, I want who I am and what I do to go past a music stage, go past the drums or being a producer or whatever it is that people do, because I want people to see that there are other characteristics that actually make my whole career, go the way it goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to have good characteristic things in order for me to get hired for certain jobs. People don't want a guy that's not on time, who don't know his music, who can't execute, consistently. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there are other character, assessments that I have to continuously make sure that I'm up on top of in order to continue to be what, what I pursue to be or what I am in whatever light people see me in, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
It makes perfect sense.
So I just think I think he's doing a fabulous job of being a light. I mean, so tell the dude until he can pay for a school that guarantees kids colleges to Ohio, like I think it's Ohio State to like Akron or wherever, a University of Akron or somewhere, I'm not sure, but don't quote me on the details. But until you can build a school that can put kids in a better environment, put them in, give these kids bikes and all this other stuff, dude, until you can do that, you shut up and kick a ball.
Exactly.
Right? Until you can do what somebody else do, it's best to just shut up and let him do what he's doing, because clearly he's making a difference. And I'd like to think God is kind of pleased with that kind of difference making.
Exactly.
And you know what, man? And I'm sorry.
No, you good. Go ahead. You got it.
I hate to keep going back to this word division. And that's the thing. No one wants to stop and get to know someone or get to see what other qualities they have other than just what they see on TV. You know what I mean? That division, and the only way this is going to stop, and this is not just for the sports world, this is just the whole world. Take the time to get to know someone more than just in the area you think you know them in. You'd be surprised. And I'm going to leave it at that.
No, that's I echo that 100%. 100%.
Absolutely.
And part of the problem, well, King, you hit on it, is part of the problem. Well, I'm not even going to touch that issue because you already said everything that need to be said. One thing I definitely agree with, man, is you said something about doing more than what is presented, basically putting a purpose to it. And the thing that I like about what LeBron is doing with this school, like this dude is literally changing kids' lives. And he's putting them in a position not only to better themselves, but if they go and they get the proper education and they make the proper investments with that education, he's changing these kids' lives. Like he's changing the trajectory. Exactly. He's changing the trajectory of these generations. And that's the thing that I love about it, because it's not only such about the school, but it's all about the purpose. And the thing is, every last one of us on this earth, we have a purpose, no matter what our occupation is. God gave each and every last one of us a purpose. Now, some of us haven't maybe tapped into that purpose. Maybe we don't know what that purpose is. Maybe we don't know how our gifts tie into it. But every last person on this earth has a purpose. And I love the fact that somebody like LeBron with his platform is doing more than just playing basketball. He's doing production companies and, doing projects in the media that bring a positive message. He's got the school, he's got this, he's got that. I love it. And I'm not going to add any more to that because King, you summed it up perfect.
I'll add one thing. It's crazy how you can tell a man who's had such an impact, and then the impact that I think that is really speaks to LeBron outside of him being a phenomenal ball player is how he posted a tweet or Instagram post and wanted to get people to rally to get a new owner of a WNBA team, and that junk happened, bro.
Yes.
Yes. So really, you're telling a man who is bringing about like great change that can help create great generational wealth, great generational curses being broken. Like this dude is doing everything in his power to do it. And sometimes, like you said, Mac, you said it best. Won't you stop and get to know me?
Exactly.
Like learn some about my background so that you can have a clear understanding for why I go so hard the way I do. Like LeBron, man, grew up with a single mother. I think they was close to being homeless or even homeless. He stayed with coaches and all this other stuff. And so it's like, dude, what are you talking about? You just shut up and kick the soccer ball and hope that us Americans watch it, because I know we're watching LeBron. I know we watching LeBron.
Mac, you silly. But you know what? I remember when LeBron was they did some kind of documentary of the many they've done on him. But he was talking about when he went over his white friend's house as a kid. They were so poor. I remember he went over he spent the night at one of his white friend's house for a coach or something like that. And these were his words, because the reason why, because I think they asked him why was he putting so much emphasis on a white friend, and he said, hey man, in the neighborhood that I grew up, like a lot of the black people, we were poor. We didn't have a whole lot. So when I went to my white friend's house, I remember I went and saw like boxes of cereal on top of the refrigerator, and he had never saw that before. So that just goes to show you this dude's upbringing, what he had to come up out of, and now look at what he's done with it. This is not somebody that just got this money and I'm gonna keep it for myself. We see that with rich people all the time. This is somebody that's like, man, I got this money and these resources. Now I'm about to help my people. Now I'm about to help change the world. Like, man, I could go on and on about LeBron, like, because I love LeBron. Like, I love him as a basketball player, but I love him even more as a humanitarian. Like, the dude is, bruh.
Kudos.
Yeah, absolutely. If LeBron ever sees this, props, bruh. I don't know, in the unlikely event that he sees this, maybe the man upstairs can, pull a little strings, but, let's keep going. Anyway, King, I'm gonna let you take the driver's seat on this next one. You were talking about the NBA All-Star Weekend. Actually, speaking of LeBron and the NBA, you talked about the NBA All-Star Weekend and how they donated some of the money to HBCU. So, man, without further ado, you take it away.
Well, God bless you, man of God. No, we talked about it, and I think a few episodes back. So we don't have to really go crazy about it. But I was listening tonight when they were picking their teams that LeBron. I kind of heard in the background, so I don't know the whole details, but I did hear clearly about whatever LeBron's team gets or however they accumulate the money. It's going to a Thurgood Marshall Foundation, and then KD's team is UNCF. So, and I think it's upwards plus $3 million to COVID relief fund, and it'll be cool to watch the game, but it'll be even more cool to know that they end up doing this all-star game to help the COVID relief and HBCUs to continue.
Great cause, yeah.
Yeah, to continue to thrive. And we got to continue to always give a shout out to Chris Paul, who's the president of the Players Association. And man, like, this dude is always making moves. He didn't go to a HBCU, but a lot of his family did, and he said he has a huge heart for HBCU. So shout out to Chris Paul, doing the thing in the NBA, making that happen for HBCUs. And that's all I really got. I'm sure it'll be a cool weekend. I'm looking forward to all of the dunk contests. Everything will be on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to all of that and what it entails, and the camaraderie of, a little good pickup basketball, but
it's this weekend, right?
Yeah, it's Sunday.
Okay. Oh, for sure. Oh, I'll be at work, but I'll try to catch it.
Yeah.
I'll try to catch it.
Speaking of sports, they restructured the NFL. They restructured Ben Roethlisberger's contract today. Didn't get no details on it. I don't think they've released the details, but I think it's supposed to at least clear minimum $23 million cap space, which would put him at about a $21 million deal or something, which is still not bad. I mean, right. You can share a little with me.
I'm trying to tell you.
Mad at all, but yeah. So what do y'all think about that? What do y'all feel about the re-signing of Dr. Roethlisberger?
Y'all not gonna like me at all for this. Y'all, I don't know if y'all are gonna even cut this out. I don't know if it's gonna make it to the podcast, but I don't care for Ben Roethlisberger for nothing at all. 0%, bro. Okay. This dude, and the reason why I say that, and this is just my opinion, and again, these aren't facts or anything from any new. This is macro-nay opinion. You know what I mean? Just that this dude has just been accused of so many assaults that is ridiculous. Like, something is there if you keep get over and over and over again. So I'm just out on Ben. That's just me. That's just me.
I feel that. I feel that. I think it's a waste of Pittsburgh's money. Like, Pittsburgh needs to move on. This dude, I mean, he's got 2 Super Bowls. I mean, I'm pretty sure he'll go into the Hall of Fame. I'll get it. But I don't know, man. If I was Pittsburgh, bro, I think I would have just let Dan go. And I would have put that money elsewhere because they could shore up their defense. They could shore up the offense. You could go out. I mean, you could make a trade up in the draft. You could get creative in the draft and move up and go find you a quarterback. I mean, there's a number of different things that you could do in replacing Ben Roethlisberger. Or, you know what, if you have to take this year on the chin, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand when you let go of a franchise Hall of Fame quarterback, I understand that rut that it can put you in. I mean, look at the Broncos. They ain't found somebody. It took them, 14 years to land upon Peyton Manning after John Elway retired. So, I mean, I get it. I totally understand. But at the end of the day, Ben Roethlisberger hadn't really – I mean, he's he's declined every year steadily. So I understand the thinking behind it. I just would not have done it. Not for $23 million, maybe for like 10 or 11, but not for $23 million. Not me.
How old has Ben Roethlisberger?
Oh, I was just getting to that. I was
Okay.
just getting to that.
30.
He turned 39 either today,
Yeah.
yesterday, one of these days
Yeah.
in March. It's only been
39.
4 days. Yeah, he turned 39.
How old is Aaron Rodgers?
37,
8?
36, 37,
8.
something like that.
I thought he was
Oh, yeah,
38.
38, something like that. He's somewhere around there.
Drew Brees?
Drew Brees is
63.
40. He 42, 43, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and Tom Brady, how old?
43.
43.
Okay, so where am I going with all this?
I have
Look
no
at
idea.
all the quarterbacks who look like they 106 opposed
Ben.
to all them other ones.
Ben.
Thank you.
I mean, the dude, he's taken so much punishment over the years, man. I remember when he first came in the league. I know, King, you remember because you watch football like I do. I remember when he first came in the league, bro. There were times it would take 2, 3, 4 dudes trying to get him down. Even sometimes he still didn't fall down. Like the dude is a tower. But all that, get all those hits and everything else over the years, they've taken their toll. Like that dude, he looked like Frankenstein moving out there sometimes, bro. And I'm not saying that to be funny. But that's just the age thing, man. Like the dude, it's time, the NFL, it's got a window and it's just time for Ben to move on. I that's just me. If I was Pittsburgh, I wouldn't have done the deal. I get it, but I wouldn't have done it.
First of all, you're not going to keep comparing Denver to every scenario.
Yeah, man, you got to. I got to.
Keep Denver out of this, all right?
Nah, man.
Hey, but what I will say, I mean, they could have not had Roethlisberger and had $43 million worth of cap space. That would have been some serious wiggle room.
Right.
But
yes,
for Mike Tomlin to have never had a under 500 season, and most of it has been with Roethlisberger, you have to consider the continuity they have. You have to consider the record they had with being literally immobile like Phillip Rivers. You have to consider
that's true
how ownership looks at him and how he threw for over 4,000 yards last year. So
that's true. Yeah.
And when you have Mason Rudolph and I forgot the other guy they got.
I don't even know the other guy's name.
It ain't Dwayne Haskins, is it?
It is.
When you got the little firecracker Rudolph who fighting people, and you got Dwayne Haskins, the strip club lover,
Yeah.
I don't know if your choices are that good, and maybe where Pittsburgh is in their mind, they're thinking, a new quarterback straight out the draft may not get us a 11-5 record. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's true.
So in their mind, that may be how they're looking at it. But what could help them is a new line, a run line that can run block.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
A better running back like Connor could be number 2. They can share it, or he could take about 40% versus the 60% of snaps, something like that. And then beef up the defense a little bit, but yeah, I would have been like, hey Ben, you want to take a smooth 17-5?
Yeah.
And that would have gave 26, almost 26, you know what I'm saying? It's $26 million for some room. And I would have been like 17 with some incentives. Like get us a winning season. We can throw you in there, get us in the playoffs, and maybe we can throw something else in there. But that's if I'm thinking like they're probably thinking, big picture. That's probably the reason why they're keeping him for an extended period of time.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, and you know what? I remember he said something about he would restructure his contract. So it also depends on how they structure that contract. So like they stretch it out over 5-6 years, even though he's not going to be playing in the next 5 or 6 years. But if they stretch that out to what is it, like 4.4 or 4.6 million over that 5 years, then that still leaves them, because they can get all kinds of creative with these NFL contracts. So that'll leave them a little bit of playing money. But you're right. I mean, if they get them a run game and an offensive line and shore up the defense a little bit, Pittsburgh, because they were 12-4 last year. So I mean, that's not like they were shabby. I I just probably would have tried to go a younger route. I mean, and then too, you got all these other quarterbacks coming available as well. Russ might be out there. It's a possibility that depending on how
Okay.
that play out.
Okay. Time out. Stop.
He already know where I was going. He
Stop.
already know where I was.
Cut it out. Just cut it out right now. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this. Oh, fine. Whatever. Let's do this. Let's just talk about Dak for a second. Let's talk about a fresh quarterback.
Your long lost brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So things have may have changed for me since last week. They may have changed just a tad. And why I say that is, so there's a big controversy over Russell Roethlisberger coming to Dallas. Okay, I don't know how true that could be, but it looks like a possibility. Okay, great. However, I wouldn't want Russell over here. I would want Dak here.
What?
Unless wait, hear me out. Hear me out, because the way they done it, unless Dak didn't want to be in Dallas anymore. Now, if Dak didn't want to be in Dallas, cool. But I always felt like Dak wanted to be in Dallas until today. So supposedly Dak is asking for $44 million. 40 Patrick Mahomes money. That's what Dak asking for. So to me, that sounds like Dak don't want to be in Dallas no more. That sounds like you pay me or I'm out. That's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, Jerry Jones ain't gonna pay Dak $44 million.
Not at all.
Dak,
not at all.
Your bags, you making live in Dallas, but you're playing for somewhere else. Good night, goodbye.
Exactly. That's exactly what Jerry gonna say, man. And you know what? I like Dak, but Dak ain't worth $44 million. I mean, and you know what? On the
say it like that. I mean, we know it, but you had to say it like that,
you
bro.
know. And I like Dak, but yeah.
So
but you know what? On the cool
after.
Right. I would say for a quarterback like Dak, I would say 30, 31, you know, which ain't shabby. I mean,
he made 33 last year, right?
Yeah, well, that was the franchise tag.
Yeah, I know.
And that's off the franchise tag.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you something, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dak, I think Dak need to go ahead and move on. Yeah. Like, go and have a meeting with Jared and be like, man, you know what? You just turn that voice to me. It's so hard. See, like,
man, because yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, go on and play the song, and then, like, you know, just go on and give his, you know,
give his deuces,
his farewells, man, and like go on somewhere, because I know he could probably make a good home somewhere else.
Yeah, because they've been going at this for like 2 years now. Well, it actually be 3 years they've been going at this now.
Yeah, and
I remember. Go
ahead. You remember what?
No, I remember in 2018, listening to Undisputed with Shannon and Skip. They were talking about this, and it's just like, bro, I've never seen anything like this. So to me, I think Dallas and Dak, I think it might be a situation where they both like just tied to each other, and I think this might be one of the things where both sides, well, Dak needs to change the scenery, and Dallas needs, you know, a new direction. Because I don't see this thing. I don't see how it's going to work at this point. I mean, this dude is basically telling you, and I think with the agent that Dak has, this agent is, I think his name is Todd LaFrance. He's known for negotiating hard line contracts like this. I mean, he's known for if he don't want his client there, if his client don't want to be there, he's known for throwing out a number that team he knows is not going to pay
to get him out of there.
Yeah. So I think, man, with Dak, man, and you know what? That's Patrick Mahomes' money, but really, to be honest with you, after the year Patrick Mahomes had, I don't even think he's worth $44 million. To be honest with you, because Patrick Mahomes, the last 7 or 8 games, if you really go back and look at the Chiefs and how they played, they won every game by like a margin. I think it's like less than a touchdown, like less than 6 points. So when that happened in the Super Bowl, I wasn't surprised, because I kept telling one of my homeboys when I was, you know, where I was living in Houston at the time, I kept telling him, like, bro, something ain't right with the Chiefs, because the boys was blowing people out last year, and they just didn't look like the same squad. And then,
yes, sir,
man, yeah, Tampa Bay shut that down. Yeah,
I'm just raising my hand because only reason I would say Mahomes is worth the money, because he went to back-to-back Super Bowls. I understand not
I
having
feel that. I feel that.
kind of year that looked good, but I mean, that's like LeBron, and I don't want to intertwine the two, but sometimes he don't have a good year, but he get to the finals, so you can't really knock what you're used to seeing, because sometimes when you're used to seeing someone be so good and they look a little less than themselves, we tend to kind of start calling them fall off. And I'm like, no, I mean, that's like your car be real good, and then you be like, man, I got to get this fixed in order to
Yeah.
Well,
so
I feel
I'm
that.
sorry.
I feel that.
I mean, I give it to Patrick Mahomes, even though he played the way he played this year. But that O-line, if you look for the last few games, that O-line wasn't holding that line like they were supposed to, like they've been doing.
well, he lost two O linemen in the playoffs, and two of his best O linemen in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, I don't know if didn't we see what's that quarterback name get two different franchise tags in two years back to back? What was his name? He played for the Vikings, I think now.
Oh, Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, over in Washington.
Yeah, so I don't know if I mean that NFC East, they're weird. That whole division is weirdos. I'm just gonna be honest with you, man.
Man, you're right, because now you got Carson Wentz.
Yeah, and so I don't know if they think that he maybe should be okay with it. And man, I pray that he at least get a contract and keep to work, because I don't ever want a man not be getting his money, whatever the money is. But maybe it is time for him to maybe go a different direction. Maybe do you think he feel like he can't start somewhere else?
Well, it was just his dream to play for Dallas. That was his whole dream since his beginning of the football career. Like, if you go on a lot of documentaries, that's all his mom talked about, or he talked about. So, I mean, at this point, did you accomplish your dream? You can move on, or is it still your dream? You know what I mean? So I don't know. But what I will say is that it really sucks that Dallas Cowboys don't show the confidence in him the way he's been showing confidence in Dallas Cowboys, playing on the franchise tag, playing on the franchise, and still balling out. You know what I mean? So shame on Dallas Cowboys, bro.
I don't have a favorite team, but I would never have that much confidence in the Dallas Cowboys. As Stephen A. say, they're an accident waiting to happen.
Stephen A. boy, he be having me rolling with them little clips, man.
I hear you.
Oh, my bad, man.
It's all right. I'll sleep easy tonight, I promise.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, man, that's the perfect way to wrap up episode Ocho. Oh, wait a minute. No, we ain't done. We got keys to the kingdom. My bad, dog.
How dare you?
It's late. It's late. I'm tripping. My fault. Long day.
Keys
to the kingdom.
Keys to the kingdom.
Back row Nate. Educators.
What we got today? So today, keys to the kingdom is called share and share alike. So you and your significant other going out to eat tonight. Whatever have you, significant other, your life partner, whatever have you. Going out to eat
I ain't
tonight.
got one, but keep going.
Okay. I apologize for the significantly challenged. I apologize. So
Go ahead.
You don't eat all day because you know what you're going to get. You're going to get you a 12-ounce, quarter-ounce steak with some asparagus, mashed potatoes. You already know what order you're going to eat it in. So you don't eat all day. So finally, the time comes, you get to the restaurant. Significant other sitting across the table. Y'all order your food. You tell her she look beautiful or he look good or whatever. Make your little, whisper your little sweet nothings in your ears. And then the food come. You get ready, you pull your knife out, you cut into your steak, and then you hear that, "Can I have some?" What do? Do you share your food or do you not? What's the call, fellas?
You know what, man? From learning from my parents and my mom and my dad, if you want to keep the peace, share the food. Cause and I'll be honest, man, my mom, she does that to my dad just specifically to get under his skin. Like she just, just do it. And it's like, the only time she won't do it is if they happen to order the same thing, which is not very often. But in learning from them, I want to keep the peace. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let her have a piece. Because I don't play about my food. She can have a piece. But when I say a piece, I mean singular. A piece. And if she asks for another one, I'm gonna tell her, look, you might want to order your own, because this me. I love you, but this me. But I ain't got that problem right now. So y'all go ahead.
Yeah, if I 12, 20, I can have a 40-ounce steak. I'm cutting you a nice light piece. We'll give you a piece of it. Move on. I may give you one stem of asparagus, a little dab of the mashed potatoes. Love my mashed potatoes. I like, especially if I'm gonna go eat somewhere like that. I'm not one of those people who are like crazy about food and get hangry and stuff like that. But but when I'm eating like that, don't be ordering, trying to eat off my whole plate and whatnot. Don't do that. Like, and then if she's doing it too much, then I mess around and start letting her order first and order the same thing she eating.
There you go.
But I just gotta hope that's something I eat, because y'all remember, I'm definitely that guy who's keeping within the confounds. I may order the same thing,
chicken tender.
So I'm not doing chicken fingers at the steakhouse, but so one piece, some small, man, just get a taste. Maybe you may want it next time, but it's nothing for you to be, to stay over in my plate. Get your own.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
See, I'm learning from y'all, so that way when I do get married, you know what I'm saying? A wise man learns from others. A fool despises knowledge. I ain't a fool. But spit a little knowledge at him.
I'm gonna pull the Kevin Hart. My blood sugar low. I need all of this.
I need all this.
I'll fall out at the table with the waiter. I'll embarrass everybody. Leave that man steak alone. That was the Raiders go. Yeah. But in all honesty, man, you share your food. If that's is that the love of your life, and that's who you share your life with, and that's who you share your food with. That's just how I see it.
You know what? I feel that. And that's a good note. But just a little teeny bit. Just a little bit. What's that little emoji on the phone that's got that much space between it? Just like that?
Yeah.
But you know what? That's a good place to end it, man. This has been well, fellas, y'all have anything else y'all want to add before I go?
The only thing I can say, man, is other than that's keys to the kingdom. The only thing I can say is, man, division, man. Don't let society divide you from other people, man. Sit down and talk to somebody. Get to know someone. Really explore that person, man, and you'll be shocked and you're surprised of how much you have in common. And that's what I got for y'all.
I love it.
Well, since you said that one, then I'll go a different direction. For people who are role models or already have a huge following, continue to show those other characteristics of traits that people don't always see from what you may do. If you're a ball player or a musician, or if you're a lawyer, show some traits of a certain thing that's a little different, so that kids can actually see more than one characteristic of who you are, so that you can help the community continue to be better. Because people out in the forefront are definitely, I think, bigger role models than they may portray themselves to be or even think they are. And so I would just say, man, whatever you do, keep using your voice to create change. Keep using your voice to be better, and to provoke tough conversations for people as a whole to be better.
Mm-hmm. I love it as well, man. The only thing I'll say, whatever it is that you do, find a purpose behind it and use that purpose to better the world. Use that purpose to better your family. Use that purpose to better your friends. Use that purpose to better the people within your sphere of influence. But whatever your purpose is, your gifts, talents, figure out what they are, put purpose behind it, and kill that thing. Well, this has been episode 8 of the Brothers Being Brothers podcast. Fellas, like we always say, do your best. Let God handle the rest. Be blessed.